Let's bring in our next guest. Talking one of the great events of the year in the state of Utah, set for July 4th at LaVell Edwards Stadium. We're talking about Stadium of Fire. This year's headliner is Jonas Brothers. It is our pleasure to welcome in the BYU grad who's bringing them here, and he's the executive director of America's Freedom Festival at Provo, Jim Evans. And before we reveal him on our screen, we want you to think, live streamers, what's been the best Stadium of Fire act that you have ever come to Provo to watch? Namely the band. What has been your favorite band as we say hello to the great Jim Evans? Welcome to the Wise Guys. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you for inviting me tonight. Great to be with you and Blaine.
Well, we got a lot of questions for you. Should we just get right at it?
Wait, you're going to wait and you're going to give your answer to the greatest band later, right?
Yeah, we're going to do this a little bit later.
I know who my wife Brenda's is. It's like with Tim McGraw showing up, she wants to be there, right?
Well, we've got a little bit of time before the 4th. The Freedom Festival activities actually are underway, and one of the big ones is the Hope for America event at the Marriott Center starting tomorrow. And then Memorial Day of Service on May 27th. So those are the May mega events leading into June and then July. What is it about Provo and the Freedom Festival that makes it such a magical time of year?
I think it's so magical because of all the hundreds and hundreds of volunteers. People, when I took this job 5 years ago, asked me, tell me about your big staff that you have. Okay, there's 2 full-time, a couple part, and hundreds of volunteers that basically run this. So what's so magical is just the way that people want to be involved.
What is it about Utah and about Utah Valley in particular, just Provo-Orem area, that brings this patriotism? It just you can just feel it from now through the 4th and then really all year long. But people really embrace this. What is it about this area of the country that makes this such a success here?
Well, I think let's go back to what Dave mentioned. This coming week, starting tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in the Marriott Center, we'll have over 6,000 fifth graders, their grandparents watching, their teachers singing songs about freedom and country and first responders. Where else are you going to get that but here in Provo, Utah? It starts with the youth in the schools, and that Hope of America that we're going to have this week is one of the great examples of how we get that freedom started. But Blaine, people just, they love their country. In fact, the mission statement of our Freedom Festival, God, family, freedom, and country.
Yeah.
If you're in Provo and you drive past the Marriott Center, that's why there'll be 30 school buses.
That's right.
Maybe more there over the next couple of days. All the information on the events are at www.freedomfestival.org. This year, the Grand Parade and Stadium of Fire are actually lining up for the same day on July 4th. That's kind of cool.
Not only that, but we'll also have the balloons taken off in the morning.
That's right.
You'll have the Freedom Run that day. So you'll have down in Provo, the Freedom Days, all the booths and vendors. So that's going to be a packed day on the 4th of July this year.
Yeah, and sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes the 4th falls on a Sunday, and the things get split up. So it's been a while since we've had all of these events on the actual 4th, right?
Several years. It's usually been on the 1st on a Saturday for several years, but it's all on the 4th this year.
Yeah, so Jonas Brothers is the headliner this year.
They are.
Which Dave knew ahead of time because you told him. Nobody told me. I asked. Nobody would tell me. I'm on the outside.
I told him that I told you I wouldn't tell him.
You zipped it.
Yes,
I could trust him.
You can trust Dave. Is the show sold out yet? Are we getting close?
It is. So to let you know, when tickets went on sale, from a Friday to a Monday, we'd already sold over 32,000 tickets. It only holds 46,000
That's crazy.
In the stadium. So if you were to call BYU right now, they say it's sold out. We're going to probably release some tickets the 1st of June.
Okay.
There's some that will get back into the pool, but it's for all intents and purposes, Blaine, sold out this year.
Oh,
so Jonas Brothers, a hot ticket. How hard of a decision is it for you and your committee to decide on a band?
I stick my neck out when I go to the trustees and we get input. We have surveys from past Stadium of Fires and ask people what they like. Of course, they want Taylor Swift, who I can't afford, and they want a lot of other people I can't
afford.
Brooks.
Can anybody afford Taylor Swift? Nobody can afford Taylor
I couldn't
Swift.
afford her movie, I don't think. But anyway, so I actually went to the Jonas Brothers concert last fall in Salt Lake to check them out to see how. And I came back to our producer and I said, let's go get these guys. And it took several months to get them. And when they said they wanted to come, I thought, okay, here we go. And you never know until you start selling tickets.
Yeah.
And so after that first weekend, we sold 32,000, which was the second fastest selling to Miley Cyrus, and then Jonas Brothers was, or the Journey was the third. So they're second. So they've sold really well.
And they've been here before, and there's always a gamble of bringing them back. Journey had been here before, and I thought last year's show was just like off the charts.
They sold out. In fact, to let you two know here, I don't know. Let me hold this out. Okay, this is a shirt from the Journey concert, a special one made of Journey insignias. I've got one for both you and Blaine.
That's awesome.
So
I will wear that.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
I told the story last year when we were talking about this that I was living at the Whittingham's house. You know, Kyle and Carrie and those guys. Fred and Nancy had gone, or Fred had gone down to coach with the Rams at the time. And we were all sitting up there, didn't have any money, and we're like, Journey is in concert down at the Marriott Center. This is in the old days. And we're not there. And Nancy says, let me teach you guys a lesson. If you just act like you know what you're doing, you can walk into any event you ever want to. So she lines us up. We get in the car. She drives us down the Marriott Center. She just walks in and goes, come on, let's go. Stands at the door. The ticket taker's looking at us, and we just walked right in, and we went to the Journey concert for free.
I'm going to be looking out for you guys next time.
Look out for Blaine. If you see Blaine in a tie, something's up.
The great lesson that Nancy Whittingham taught me as a young man was, if you dress up and act like you know what you're doing, nobody's going to question you. So that was my first Journey experience.
And a warning.
And then we went to the one at the stadium. So
Jim
pretty
Evans,
amazing.
former mayor of Orem, Utah, executive director of America's Freedom Festival at Provo, is on the Wise Guys tonight. We've got our live stream active from all over the place around the world. When you decide on a performer, you have to take some things into account because you want this to be a family event. And I'm not necessarily talking about content of songs, but pricing has to be such so that I'll bring my kids. Isn't that pretty much the mission?
Absolutely, and that's why I can't get some of the more expensive artists, because we need to keep some of the tickets, and our tickets range from $40 up to $270 if you're on the first few rows of the stadium. But we can't raise them all up like you could at Taylor Swift concert. We've got to keep some so families can come. It's for families.
Richard Kozlowski, Brody's grandpa, says, hey, let's get Imagine Dragons.
Eric Wade says Journey, no competition.
No, he wants Journey back.
For the best ones.
We've tried Imagine Dragons. We've tried the Killers, and they're always in Europe during the 4th of July.
Yeah.
But we have a list of ongoing ones that we continue to, and I'll do social media checks. We'll see who would be popular in this area and so forth. But once again, if you have ideas, send them my way to the Freedom Festival.
We might have to call Dan Reynolds for him, see if we can't work him over.
Country bands always play well
They do.
here.
They do.
There's something about country artists that they're part of America, and there's religion, and it's just everything involved in these country artists like Tim McGraw, Keith Urban, Carrie Underwood, and they've all been here a number of times. I'm looking forward to Keith coming back again someday.
Amazing concert that Keith gave last time he was
is
here.
Incredible.
But when you branch out into what Journey was awesome and stuff, what when you talk to the band and you say, we want you to come to Provo, Utah, but you're playing on campus at BYU, and so there's some rules, or there's some things that you might not be able to do which you would do at a USANA or somewhere else. How do they respond to that?
You know, they've all been very good over the years to respect the BYU. Well, they know we're in the BYU Stadium, LaVell Edwards Stadium, that we have to follow the honor code rules there, and so they see that, they read the rider of what they need to do, and they all respect that.
That's good stuff. When the actual event, you talk about volunteers, how many people does it take to stage and to do the Stadium of Fire on that 4th of July day?
Well, they start out a week before. So we basically rent the BYU Stadium. The Freedom Festival does a week before. They show up at the stage with the lights, with everything, the crews. So there's hundreds of people from the stage to the sound setting up. And then you have the night, the security, the people watching the dressing rooms, the concessions, the ushers. So I'd say probably 300 to 400 people at least that night.
It's a big event.
Is there a better moment than when those 4 jets come buzzing over, and the fireworks come, and you've had the anthem, but where we're at sometimes down there by the stage, we can see them off in the distance, and then they're on top of you, and it just seems like that's like the greatest moment ever.
The sound of freedom, we'd like to call that, when they blow our heads. No, I'm going to. This is an exclusive here tonight. You ready?
Okay.
For this, we're going to do something in the stadium we've never done before this year. No one else knows this, but now they will. We're going to have a drone show as part of the Stadium of Fire this year. We're going to have some drones. We'll have the fireworks and everything else. But before the fireworks, we're going to have 200 drones that are going to just blow you out of your seat.
And do they have like lights attached and all kinds of stuff?
Oh, they'll come up in formation. They'll form flags. They'll form patriots. You just wait. But anyway, we're going to have a drone show this year in the Stadium of Fire.
I know that's going to be cool because I was coming out of a BYU baseball game the other night after calling it, and there was some drone rehearsals going on, and I was just watching them from my car, and I'm thinking that has to be something to do with a major event in the stadium.
So that was for the grad bash that BYU did this year, but it's the same company we're using. We're adding about 50 more drones. So we're going to have more multi-dimensional elements and things like that.
Hey,
It's
come
gonna
see
be
the
cool.
drone. That's awesome.
And do you remember the one year when the Jets went over and then they turned around and then they came back?
We try, but the fuel must be too much. They say we're only going one way. We ask them every year, can you just go back?
Don't just keep coming the whole night.
Yeah.
Just send the whole fleet.
Yeah.
It's such a great moment. Volunteers, how do they get a hold of you to get involved?
Freedom Festival, americasfreedomfestival.org. And there's a link on there where they can sign up to be a volunteer for the parade. By the way, the parade uses hundreds of volunteers.
Yeah.
We have over 320,000 people show up on the 4th of July just at the parade. And if you take all the events together, we estimate about 600,000 people participate in the events.
It's awesome. So look, if you want to get up close and personal with that great event, sign up as a volunteer. Bring your whole family, and it's just such a cool vibe. The smoke bombs smell better. The bottle rockets, even though illegal, are still awesome. It's just everything's magical about that time of year.
Yeah. Hey, before we do his 5 questions, though, I got to ask you about your involvement with BYU women's basketball, because you've been pretty involved. I know you were instrumental in getting Lauren Gustin back after she went into the portal and came back and led the nation in rebounding again in the Big 12. People thought she couldn't do it in the Big 12. She led the nation again by a mile. Tell us a little bit about your involvement in women's basketball at BYU and why you're so fond of that group.
So years ago when Cougar Club asked me, do you want to join? I said, yeah. How can you do a scholarship for someone? Well, women's basketball? Yep, okay, we'll do it. Because our daughter played in high school, Timpanogos, and I knew that the girls didn't get the support the guys do.
Right.
We love guys. We go to all the games.
Yeah.
But I thought they need some support and love too. So we started with one scholarship, and it turned into an endowed. And we travel with the team. We love the team. You see us sitting on the front row there. And we have the whole team to our house every September for karaoke and a steak fry to kick off the season to do team bonding. And you see all the girls, they come with costumes, the coaches. And
who's the best singer on that squad?
Yeah.
The squad.
And how does Coach Whiting?
How's Amber?
How does she do on that karaoke?
Amber, they actually got Amber. The first year, she kind of did it. This last year, she dressed up full on.
Oh, no.
They had Barbie outfits on and everything. Amber did it. So
She did it?
she's drinking the Kool-Aid with the girls now.
Wait a minute. You need to get Dave to that, because I did see Dave perform. Was it with Marie on the stage? Like, what?
Yeah. I only do it with superstars.
Yeah, Dave got pulled up
that's
on
not
the
gonna
stage
happen.
with Marie.
I got
He
my
sang
limits.
with Marie.
You were there.
I was there.
Yeah, he's a witness. He doesn't like to talk about it because
I
it wasn't pleasant for everyone.
No,
but we gave it our best shot.
But just the way we love the women's team, and I tell people the guys are great to watch, but the girls always give us hugs when the game's over. But they're amazing, and you're right when you said Lauren. I was grateful that we could find a company that could help with a little stuff to help her make that decision to stay. So,
hey, NIL is here to stay.
It's real.
It's big, and it's big for. There were a lot of schools trying to buy her away, and when she came back, it was certainly huge for Coach Whiting for the program. But there were people involved that helped that too, and I know she is very grateful for you and what you've done.
Thanks.
She's been here on the show, and it's phenomenal what she got done. But you can't get all that done without having support.
Incredible. And I need to just, a little personal thing, love your parents, miss your mom, love your dad. They'd always greet us to all the games and get hugs. Talk about hugs. We always got hugs from your mom and dad. So.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, we miss mom, but dad's listening, so he just heard that, Jim. So he always listens every Monday
night.
night.
My friend.
So,
are you ready for 5 questions?
I am.
Okay, now you heard Brody's 5, and so you were tipped off a little bit.
Yeah,
Now Lee's over here, and he's
these are
going to hear
little-
your 5.
I didn't pay attention until halfway through, so let's see what I come up with.
Okay, here we go then. Your favorite sports movie?
Favorite sports movie, Hoosiers.
Hoosiers.
Classic.
Okay, yeah.
That was mine, and it was Marie's.
That's Marie Osmond's.
A lot of really smart people like that one.
Yeah, well, Remember the Titans is our most popular.
That is, but
Hoosiers is great.
Is there a spot when you're watching TV and you're flipping the dial and Hoosiers is on? You have to stop.
I'd stop.
No matter where it's at, and it just pulls you in.
I love it.
Not every movie does that.
Not only the basketball, but that kid's dad who had problems. And
Jimmy's dad.
Jimmy's dad. You still, come on, let's do it.
Yeah.
Who's going to be BYU's Jimmy this next year?
Jimmy Chitwood?
When they're in the huddle and Kevin Young's going, well, we're going to use this as a decoy, and then he just goes, I want a shot.
I'll make it.
I'll make it.
I'll make it.
Coach, I'll make it.
Who do you think it's going to be?
Who is it this next year?
What do you guys think?
I mean, Richie Saunders down the stretch of games seems to just give me the ball and make a shot.
He's got the confidence to say that.
Yeah. Downs made some big shots.
Yeah, Downs made some.
I even think Nell. I think Downs going to have a huge year this year.
That's the thing about BYU. A lot of guys that can make plays. Brody Kozlowski, who we just had on, is going to surprise people. His stature at 6'8" and 230, he shoots it. I hate to say this, but he reminds me of players that come out of Europe that are really good. He's a big, strong kid that can go out and he has beautiful shooting for him.
So thrilled to have him back.
So Brody's the kind of guy. And in high school, I was talking to his mom about it. The thing that most impressed me about Brody as I watched his high school film was when the game's on the line and it's coming down the stretch, he goes from an 85% free throw shooter to a 95% free throw shooter. Wow. He goes from shooting 48% from the field to down the stretch, he shoots 60-something%. It's there's something about him where when the game it's on the line and something has to be done, he elevates his game. And that's what all great players, and to me, you don't teach that. And so he just brings that to BYU. That's a special thing to bring to BYU. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's a guy that says, I'll make it.
I can see in that huddle Noah Waterman saying,
yeah, Noah, give me the ball.
Now, he might not get the ball, but I can see him saying,
yeah, I got
give me the ball.
Give me the ball.
As a fan, I loved watching Noah from the year before to last year. His improvements, and I'm thinking, let's do it again this year.
Just think where he could go.
If he makes that kind of a jump, he's an NBA guy.
I'm thrilled what he did.
If he can do that.
Sorry for the diversion. Okay. We're back to number 2.
Now, here we go. So, favorite sports movies, Hoosiers. Favorite singer or band?
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, it's old school. Nice.
Lee, did we not go to Earth, Wind, and Fire concert? No, we went to Janet Jackson. Lee Johnson's in the house, by the way. We went to Janet Jackson, and we danced our heads off. But Steve Young didn't dance. See, how do you not dance to
By the way, I went to a concert in L.A. that had Earth, Wind, and Fire in Chicago on the same stage, playing together each other. I'm high-fiving, the drummers coming by, the spits coming from the trombone. One of my best concerts ever.
That's awesome. So Earth, Wind, and Fire, that's a great choice.
That's cool.
I can't, because I don't want anybody to be mad. I was going to say your favorite band you've ever brought into the Stadium of Fire.
No, we're going to ask him that in a minute.
Okay, we'll do that at the end. Okay.
That's coming.
Okay, so Earth, Wind, and Fire. Your favorite breakfast cereal?
Bacon and eggs. Okay. Besides bacon and eggs, it would be
that's old school.
It would be Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch, that's a classic.
You like his same movie and you like his same cereal?
We do. Yeah, we do a lot of stuff together.
We didn't trade, but that's what I'd like.
Yeah, Captain Crunch. It cuts the roof of your mouth, but no worries.
You know what? Someone asked me about that the other day, and I said, yeah, it cuts the roof of your mouth if you're a rookie.
You have to, there's a special way to eat it. If you have to eat it in a special way.
And eventually, then you also get scabs and things. Also, then you can just.
I'm just all about Frosted Flakes and cinnamon life. I'm just telling you. Or I might eat some Lucky Charms and then save all the charms for the very, very end and just get 3 straight bites of nothing but marshmallows. But that's just me. Okay, your favorite BYU moment ever?
It could have been one of LJ's field goals, but it's going to be probably watching Jimmer hit that 50-foot or 8, whatever it was, against Utah in that game. I just probably one of my favorite moments of all time.
When he had 33 in the first half?
Yeah, that one too.
So I called that game for NBC, and people have heard this before, but I still joke with Jimmer about it because he tells me I rode his coattails. That play was the national play of the day on ESPN Top 10. It was number 1. But instead of them talking over it, they just took our call. Jimmer knocked it down. He just turned around, and I said, yeah, look at him. He's like, yeah, that's me. I'm Jimmer Fredette. That's what I do. I make shots. No big deal.
Number 2 was let's see, whose was it? It was Yoli's dunk.
Oh yeah. Up at Salt Lake. Yeah, that was that left a mark.
You like when big time guys make big time plays at Utah, don't you? Yeah. So there you go. Well, they're back in the same league now. All right, this is it. Your favorite Stadium of Fire entertainer ever?
It's a big list.
I'm a classic rock person, so even though country does good, Journey. If I would have remembered, I would have brought I have a signed guitar in my office that Neil Schoen signed for me. to Jim and I hang up. I grew up in the classic rock era. I love the R&B too, but probably Journey.
They were great the first time. They were better last year.
I think so.
I don't know why, but it was just good. And one thing I noticed about Journey and some of these bands that you've brought in, and you can tell the power of a band when they hit the first chord on the guitar and everyone knows the first word of what they're about to say, and you can feel the power of that entertainer, and it's something else.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite one though this year will be going to the Waffle House with the Jonas Brothers.
The Jonas Brothers?
Are they Waffle House guys?
Well, that's one of their popular songs. Working it all out at the Waffle House. You come this year and hear it. So
okay. I was like, if you're going to the Waffle House, is there a Waffle House in Provo?
I don't know if there's or not.
We go to those on the road
Jonas
once in a while.
Brothers.
It's not really on my diet.
So, Blaine, what's your favorite Stadium of Fire
Stadium
act?
Fire act? Oh, I'm going to say it's probably a toss-up between Journey and Tim McGraw. Like that Tim McGraw, we took our whole family to that Tim McGraw.
And I thought was better the second time than the first time.
I'm going to take Tim McGraw's second one.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that.
I'm going way, way back. Do you remember when we had the Beach Boys in? And we had the balls bouncing around, and like that was quite an atmosphere. That was really fun, and that took me back to childhood.
You mean the second time? Or
the second time.
Yeah, although I'm sorry, it was kind of like a weekend at Bernie's because never mind.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I'd say it was good. I love the Beach Boys.
The environment was really good.
But Tim McGraw put on an amazing concert.
did a phenomenal job. So
I was there. I've been there a bunch, and then I missed a bunch because I was in Vegas. But I was there the night of the million firecrackers.
Oh,
that was something else. I was 100 yards away, so I felt the heat, but
singe your eyebrows right off.
My eyebrows were okay, but I think Keith Urban was my favorite all time, bar none. And Dave, I loved Journey last year.
Dave's good friends with one of the songwriters that has written some number ones for Keith. We went down. Dave got us down in Vegas when he was in residency down there.
He's just good.
He is an amazing guitar player. I didn't realize how good a guitar player he is until we were right up close.
How cool is that to have him get up on that pedestal and in the middle of the concert, pick a fan out, play a song, autograph it, and give it to the lady.
Yeah, it's first class.
First class.
So good.
We were at the meet and greet with him before, and he's just as nice of a guy as he is a phenomenal performer.
Yeah.
So any year he comes back,
we love Keith. He's great. So.
All right, Jim Evans with us, America's Freedom Festival at Provo and Stadium of Fire. We'll see you in a few weeks.
We'll see you soon.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Fantastic having him here. By the way.